health, wellness, fitness, relationships, and everything in between. We're removing the taboo from what really matters in midlife. I'm your host, Michelle Folan, and this is Asking for a Friend. So you've tried keto, low carb, low fat, maybe Atkins, or maybe something even more restrictive, like a 1,200 calorie per day diet on top of lots of cardio. Hey, we know none of this is a long-term strategy or even healthy in this stage of life. What about a tried and true program that supports the changing needs of midlife women with coaching, sensible, effective workouts, and a macro-focused nutrition approach? That is what Kristin Jackson did. And she loved the system so much that she became a coach to encourage women to adopt a healthy lifestyle rather than drastic measures that are not sustainable. Welcome to Asking for a Friend, Kristin Jackson.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Kristin, it's really nice to see you again. We connected, and I just thought this would just be a perfect topic, particularly at the beginning of the year when a lot of us are kind of reassessing kind of our lifestyle and wanting to be healthier. And you have done much of the same. And before we get started, I would love for you to just tell the audience a little bit about where you're from and your family details and that sort of stuff.
Of course. I live in beautiful Arizona and in the Valley area, and I have 7 kiddos combined with my husband. I just got remarried 3 years ago. And so I have 4 daughters of my own, and I have 3 bonus kids. So super busy midlife businesswoman trying to feel good, right?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And you're a midlife woman like I am. Mm-hmm. You started realizing some body changes. At what point did you decide that you wanted to get a handle on things?
Just a real quick background. I am a former personal trainer, group fitness instructor. And so I have done all the things, and I've taught all the things, done all the drastic, even down to, you had said 1,200 calories. I did the HCG diet where you literally are eating 500 calories. And I don't even remember the foods that we ate. And I told my family at that point that after the 3rd time, I said, if I ever decide to do this again, you need to hold me down, because it was such a mindset problem for me and it completely unhealthy, right? Anyways, I had a midlife surprise baby at 4. And I say that because there's 9-year span between my next oldest. And I came off of the pregnancy hormonal roller coaster, got back to probably pretty close, and then boom, hit perimenopause, and I didn't even realize it, right? You just kind of start. Go ahead.
How old were you when you had this?
I was 40 years old, and I had, yes, there's some women that have, God bless them, had them later, but 40 years old, and my 4th daughter, as I said, and I then was going through a quick divorce, and I was very, very thin after I had my daughter because there was things going through, during the pregnancy. And then after that, trying to pick up my 4 girls, trying to pick up myself after being knocked down to nothing emotionally. And I gained weight. And and I did meet my now husband a couple years later. But it was this is fun. We go out to eat. He loved to go out to eat. We'd go out to eat. We'd travel, do all these things. Didn't have time for myself. Plus, I had a very demanding job at that point. So anyways, I just decided it was time, because I started feeling very sick. I started feeling I had no energy, and I was so incredibly achy. My joints, my muscles, I swore I had no muscles left in my body. And I think a lot of that was the emotional things I had to go through. But then I didn't take time for myself whatsoever. It was grabbing whatever. There's no way I have time to work out anymore, right? I knew the eat more or eat less and work out more. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that anymore. If that's what I have to do, then forget it.
Yeah.
So
do you think some of the achiness and joint issues and that sort of thing, was that inflammation from your diet at that time?
absolutely. When we get inflammation, we all have some form of, amount of inflammation in our body. But when we are constantly eating processed food, when we are doing those low calorie, low deficit deprivation diets, over exercising or under eating and under exercising, that is all wreaking havoc on our body. Plus, of course, food that we eat, we have a lot of problem in our gut. It definitely was inflammation. And I know you're going to ask me this. How do you know for sure? Because when I found the faster way, okay, and I know you want to segue into that, basically within 1 week of making small changes, I barely had any achiness whatsoever.
Oh, okay. And we'll get into more details of the faster way, but had you done any other programs prior to this other than some of the, calorie deficit type of things? What turned you on to faster way?
Well, I had done WW was the last thing I did. And last night I was thinking about this and I'm like, oh my gosh, I did Nutrisystem too. And that was I was working 14 hours a day. I just want something to pop and wasn't real food to me. With WW, I found myself leading into more processed foods because it was like, oh, I can grab this. It's 2 points. It's 3 points. It's 4 points. That's what I focused on. Frozen meals, all of that. It wasn't the whole food nutrition. And with my background, I should know that nutrition is, they say 80%. I almost say 90% of, your whole thing. And nutrition, going back to how it used to be with the whole foods, but then having the workout. So when I wanted something where I knew I could have workouts and I didn't have to think about doing my own program or doing random things, getting random results, and then having the nutrition on point. I used to go and teach group fitness at 5:30. I would get up and go teach cardio at 5:30 in the morning, go to 7-Eleven, get my diet soda and a thing of Nutter Butters as a reward. Like, hello, does that even make sense?
I know. But, first of all, we have to be kind to ourselves because your story is probably not too unlike a lot of people listening where we've tried all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We've tried Nutrisystem, we've tried Jenny Craig, we've done, keto, Atkins, I mentioned all those in the intro. And we get to a point where, okay, nothing is working. I still
Mm-hmm.
feel like crap. And cardio isn't working either.
Mm-hmm.
And you found faster way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how you found faster way. Was it through social media?
Yep, social media. Because of course it's a digital nutrition and fitness program. I found a coach, which I didn't even know was a coach. And it was someone in her 50s and said, what if I told you that you did not have to spend hours in the gym doing cardio and you can lose weight and lose fat in midlife? And I'm like, my ears perked up, right? Because I said that in the beginning. I'm like, I don't want to be doing, I do not want to be killing myself. I knew that I wasn't strong enough. My body wasn't strong enough to do that. And so I just started implementing just a few things. I'm like, okay, I'm going to start walking. I'm going to start getting movement in. And then I started doing strength training just 3 times a week. And in 3 weeks, I could see body comp changes. I didn't count calories. I didn't do anything. I just started making those changes.
And then did you sign up as a client then?
I did. I went on my honeymoon and I came back and said, okay, I'm got to find something. And I still, like I said, I didn't know what that was. Well, I stumbled on someone that lived in Maui and I just got back from Maui and I'm like, what do you have to say? And she was a faster way coach. And so I literally signed up the next day. Didn't tell my husband because I'm like, oh, well, here I go again doing something. And just then a couple of days later said, so I started this new program. Yeah. So that's how I found it.
And I'm curious, I didn't think about this at first, but some of the diet and lifestyle changes that you've made with Faster Way, has he also adopted some of those things along the way?
He has been off and on, but right now he's really kicked it in gear. He doesn't want to go as drastic as I do because, of course, I just live this. Oh, it's my passion. But he is making those changes, getting more movement in. He is a very active, not athletic person, but on his feet all day long and what have you, working on the inflammation and all of that. And it's a mindset thing, right? You have to get your mindset and say, okay, something's got to change or something's got to change. Yeah.
Right. Well, and in all transparency, I too have gone through the Faster Way program. Mm-hmm. And I did that in 2023, and I'm still doing it. But I would love for you to really share how you got started and really what you think the nuts and bolts are, why it is effective and why it's worked for you.
Okay. Like I said, I didn't even know a whole lot about it before I signed up. Okay. I just am like, you know what? I've tried everything else. Let's just try this. And I mentioned mindset. I think a huge part of this whole program and what I do with my clients is really working on your mindset, because that's when it starts. And I was that all or nothing mindset girl. I was either all the heck in or all the way out. And when you are focusing on your health, right? Health is a long journey, long life journey. It's not an all or nothing thing. It's an all or something is what I say. And I needed to find something that was sustainable. And this was sustainable for me because you are starting and building healthy habits. Drinking your water. Yes, half your weight in ounces of water every single day. I used to drink diet soda basically in my veins. It has water in there. What a huge difference it made, even in week 1, week 2, just drinking my allotted water. And I had to work up to it, learning about intermittent fasting and the health benefits of it. At first, I was like, absolutely not. I am not going to miss meals. I'm not going to not eat. I've been doing that for years. I've been hangry for 10, 15, 20 years because I've been under eating. So the things that I love the most about this program is, yes, the coaching, because how many of us have tried everything? And guess what? If you're looking for something else, why are you? Because it didn't work. It's not sustainable. And you need someone to help teach you and guide you through the process and be there for you when you start slipping away. So you have that coaching and accountability, the community of like-minded women or men with you on this journey. A lot of women don't know that they need that support until they have it. And, you know, I have women that are like, I have friends again. But on that same journey, the science-backed, clinically tested strategies that we use, like the intermittent fasting, the macro, as you mentioned in the beginning, macros was absolutely a game changer for me, because that is where I got my energy. That is where I wasn't hungry anymore, and I'm building muscle and burning fat at the same time.
And also one aspect of it too is changing up your macro allotment per what kind of physical exertion you're going to have that day. So if you are doing something maybe a little more high intensity or really strenuous leg day, you would adjust your macros accordingly. It's really creating a nutritional balance throughout the day so that you don't get hungry, which I think is genius, actually.
Right? Think about it. How many times we've done these diets and you're just hungry, or you're like, I don't know what I can eat. And so this doesn't fall in. It's got carbs in it. So I'm just not going to eat. I did that thousands of times, right? With macros, yes, we want to have the most nutrient-dense ingredients that we can. But if you have something that's going to fit in your macros, and it might have dairy in it, it might have whatever in it, but it fits in there, just eat it. It's going to be okay in the grand scheme of things. And my goal is for my clients is not to have to track macros forever. We're going to have times where we're busy, where we're like, we can lax a little bit, right? But if we have our bodies conditioned for that, and you can eat the foods that you love, right? And I always tell my clients, I want you to think of things that you are adding to your life, not what you're taking away. You are adding a treat on Saturday after your leg day, because guess what? Everybody needs a brownie once in a while, or a plate of nachos, or whatever it is you choose to have, right? And I'm throwing all these things in here and it's a lot, but this program is really all strategically set to be sustainable for you. And yes, we're not a one size fits all situation. So I sit there with my clients and find out what their pain points are. Where do you feel that you are going to have those struggles, right? And how can we fit all of these things or some of these things into your life so you can do it? Yeah.
Yeah. I think the whole thing about deprivation scares people. And it can make people really shy away from doing a program like Faster Way. But it's not like that at all. And that's what was appealing to me, that there is science-based nutrition. It's really about nutritionally dense food and getting plenty of fiber, which is huge, and healthy fats. I never feel deprived, and I still look at my plate sometimes and I'm eating just as much as my husband is some nights, and I don't feel guilty about that. Anyway, I love that. And I'm kind of curious, at what point did you decide that you wanted to be a coach?
2.5 weeks in. Not kidding. And of course, it's because of my backstory in the nutrition field. But like I said, with that inflammation, my energy and all of that had changed so much by that end of week 1, week 2. And my coach had mentioned something on her Instagram story, and I love my job. And if you would ever want to do something like this, I make an impact. And I didn't even know you could be a coach, And so by week about 3.5, maybe week 4, I started studying and I had signed up to be a coach. So not long, because I'm like, they are on to something, and not just, it's the strategies, but it is the whole company in itself. Our pro trainers, they have a love and passion, and I have met our CEO. I have met our trainers. I have met everyone in person, the corporate office. They all, of course it's a business, but they all have a passion on changing lives, on helping people combat disease, right? And be the best version of themselves. And that's what I always say. I want you women, and yes, I only work with women, but I want you to be your happy, healthiest self. And this Faster Way program is not, a lot of them are just, most of them do not have nutrition and fitness. It's either one or the other, right? But it's not just do this, here you go. It is do this because of this. Like my clients, and we all our coaches kind of have our own twist on how we share everything with our clients, but it is knowledge, and knowledge is power. So you will walk away with education. It is all, this is what you should be eating. This is why, just like you said, the fiber. Why is fiber important? Why are healthy fats really so important? How many of you did the low fat diets, right? And you were hungry. And do you know that if we don't have enough fat, we are not able to absorb all these micronutrients and macronutrients in the amount that we need it, right? So again, you walk away with all this education. So if you do the first 6 weeks of this foundation that you're building and you think, I can do it on my own, you're still going to walk away with a ton of information and knowledge. Go ahead.
You brought up the low fat thing, and it just got me thinking about, remember Snackwell cookies?
Heck yeah. The chocolate puffy.
Low fat. Yeah. And they were healthy.
Right.
I'm doing air quotes, but yeah, it just made me laugh. I was thinking, oh yeah, low fat. Those Snackwells. All right. People go through the 6-week program, and then what? How do you keep people engaged after those first 6 weeks?
Right. So I move you into a VIP group that is with like-minded women, again, that have gone through this, that have been living this from anywhere a couple weeks if they've just finished a group, or 4 or 5 years. I get clients sometime that have left Faster Way and have found me and have joined my group, or have done switched coaches, whatever. And I continue to work on different things at different times. Right now, we are really working on mindset. All December was who's ready for a mindset reset, right? It's again, going back to the basics, not the all or nothing, how to build healthy habits, how to stick to habits, how to make them attainable. I do trainings possibly every month, every other month on different things. I ask them what they want to learn about. I did one last month about muscle and why muscle is so absolutely important. So every day they are getting a post in their group, which of course it's all digital. So you can get in there on your own time, and deeper dives, articles, books to read, engagement. We'll do challenges. We did Plank November, Planksgiving. And then some didn't get to do it, and I was sick. So my clients called me out and said, okay, I wasn't able to do it, so let's do it in December. So by the end of the month, you can do a 3-minute plank, and we do things with prizes and things like that. But I have an amazing group of VIP women, and they are engaged every single day. They will say, okay, workout done, and I fasted today, or look at what I ate, or what about these ingredients? Does this look good? They are interacting with each other, and I'm very active and in there every single day, several times as well. So it is just so wonderful. And it was so great. We just came off of Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, and they're all in there expressing how incredibly grateful they are for all the women in there, for my coaching, for our community of support. And, when one's doing really good, they're pulling everyone in there, so it's really wonderful.
Your excitement is palpable, and I love that, Kristin. That's neat that you live and breathe this for your clients. What has the impact been on you to see some of the success that your clients have realized?
Okay, I have goosebumps right now. Oh gosh, I hope I don't start crying. I am. I'm truly passionate about this. There are so many things. And first I want to talk about like my own family. I have my sisters finally joined, my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law is like, girl, I'm going to be doing this till I'm 85, and she's 63 and building muscle and loving it. And their husbands are starting to, they'll be like, don't say anything, but so-and-so's been secretly fasting or whatever, so I am seeing that come in my families. My 2 daughters in their 20s are joining my January 8th group because they're like, Mom, how do you have all this energy? I'm sitting over here yawning and working on my computer, and you're on your treadmill and you're talking, and, I'm talking on Marco Polo with them. But when you do something like this and you feel good, everybody starts seeing it and noticing it, and they want it. And with my clients, I have one client, she was my first client to sign up, and she actually was someone that I knew in a little town in North Dakota in elementary school. And she said, I want to know what you've been doing, and I want to join your group. And she was in my very first coaching group. And she one day said, I just have to share this. And I know she won't mind me sharing this. But she said, I take baths all the time. And she said, today, I just stood up and got out and got my towel and walked around and said, oh my gosh, I did not have to maneuver up, slip on, get on my knees, pull up, stand up, and get out. And I literally read that and I just cried my eyes out, because that is what it's all about. That is what it's all about. We all want to feel good in our swimsuit and a pair of jeans and a dress, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when you find these life things that is going to help you, it's amazing. And I have so many stories like that.
Yeah, Kristin, everyone's going to get so tired of hearing me say this, so I'll try not to say this too often. My why is not necessarily about looking good in the dress for the next event or whatever that is. I want to be able to get up off the floor when I'm 86.
Heck yeah.
And so those are long-term goals, but it makes doing this every day a lot more attainable, because I'm doing this for a goal that is hopefully going to sustain me through my later years.
I love that you brought that up. I love it, because when I talk about my whys, or clients' whys, and I said, I want you to tell me what your why is at this point, right? And you start out and you're thinking, and maybe it is, maybe, people say, my son's getting married in July. Maybe that's it. But then when you start seeing these changes, even emotionally, but physically, and you're feeling so much better, your why starts changing, right? So my sister-in-law, the one I shared about earlier, she had said that she had done keto for 3 years. She had lost 25 pounds, right? Thought she felt great, but she said, I feel better now after a week and a half of this than I did in that situation. I can't understand it. I said, because you're eating healthy. And she even was like, what is this maple syrup they keep putting in the meal plan? It's maple syrup. When you're on keto, like you don't eat that, right? So
No.
it's just funny. But I just had to interject that. But also, not only with all of this other stuff, you get food freedom, right? You get food freedom. You are able to have these things that you've worn off for who knows what diet you've done in the past. But and now, it was even 3 months in, she goes, Kristin, they are just really onto something. And I can't explain. She said, they have big goals and they are going to live on a sailboat in the Bahamas. And she is 63, getting ready to retire. And she said, I need these muscles to be able to pull the ropes, to be able to get in and out of the boat and, bring the groceries in and do all that. She said, and she's a nurse, she's a hospice nurse. So she sees a lot, people at the end of their life and sickness and how it just breaks these families apart. And she said, we need muscle. We need muscle. We need health. We need all, our cholesterol down. We need all of this for our future selves. And that's exactly it. And so the whys end up changing for sure.
So that is a great way to keep people engaged. Do you ever have people that get really discouraged and then you're afraid they're going to give up?
Oh, yeah. Of course, it's natural, right? Because we get in times in our week where we might have a crazy week and we're like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do what I want to do for myself all week. So in that aspect, I am always telling them, you want a one-on-one, I have a calendar right in the group. They can click that. I will tell you, and we will sit there and figure out a plan for your week, right? Even if it's just emotionally, I need a mindset reset. Okay. I also, and, again, going back to the community, I had a long-term client that got a new job, moved, and there was one other big life thing. And she's like, I just can't get back on track. She goes, I've done a few workouts this week and I'm trying to drink my water, but that's all I've done. And everyone started jumping in. You've got your water in, you got 3 workouts in, right? So that community again. And you have that talk about your why. Think about day one and you feel better. I have a client that moved to me from a different coach. Sometimes you start out with someone and you think that, that's who you need to be with. And it's a very personal situation. I do not like to steal clients whatsoever. And I don't, but you have to connect, right? You have to connect and feel you have that support. It's a personal situation. And a couple times she's like, I'm done. And then I look in the mirror and say, why do you keep doing this to yourself? And now she's an ambassador for me. She's still going through, she still has her struggles, but she's like, and she's posting on Facebook, like, this is what the Faster Way has done for me. This is what my coach has done for me. And I'm still on this journey and I'm not where I want to be, but I know this is where I need to be.
When people maybe get lax or they step back, maybe they quit doing it for 3 months, 6 months, whatever, when they come back to anything, and this can be anything in life, you're not starting over from square one. You're starting with experience. So anybody that took time off because of life issues or, my God, things are thrown at us all the time. But when you do come back to it, it should be, okay, I know what I'm supposed to do now. I just have to get started. And sometimes that's the hardest part. So if somebody is interested in getting into Faster Way and maybe having Kristin Jackson be their coach, how do they get started?
You do not need anything to get started other than your initial why, and then you take bold action. And I will help you, link arms with you, and tell you everything you need to know. And I know there's a lot of information out there, but when you start eating whole food nutrition, you pair the workouts, you start putting things in place, it all makes sense. And I've had all my clients say, it just makes sense. what you would need to do is reach out to me. I have a brochure. I will go on a one-on-one discovery call with you. I will go through some more details with you. And then you just need to sign up and take that bold action.
I want to encourage people listening. I went to the doctor back in the fall, and I got all my biometrics done. And from the time that I had joined Faster Way to that day, I had seen improved lipids. My inflammatory markers had gone down, and my doctor said, I don't know what you're doing, but just keep doing it.
Amen. So, that is wonderful.
Yeah. And looking on the outside, you may not see a huge change if you look at me, but my doctor certainly noticed. And again, it's about that long-term goal that you have.
Exactly. Real quick, and another big component of this is we're talking about the health, right? You're talking about the health, and it's those markers. It's your strength. It's your endurance. It's your energy. And I always lived for the longest time with the number on the scale, right? We talked about that. I just want to bring this up real quick because that is a big component, is being aware of your body, being aware of the changes, and not being married to that scale. When I found the Faster Way, and I'm going to get the haters. I did a reel once that said I was a size 12 to 14, and people are like, what's wrong with that? I didn't say there was anything wrong with that. It's how I felt in my skin, right? But I was between a 12 and 14, and right now I'm between, well, you know how sizes go, 2, 4, 6, depending on where you shop. I still, to this day, have only lost 7 pounds. 7 pounds, and my body has completely changed. And again, not where 100% I wish I could be. And I still have big goals for this next year. I want to build a lot of muscle, but 7 pounds with the big difference that I made. So it is all about the whole picture, your whole health, your mindset, how you're feeling, how your markers are. And yes, the body composition, but being married to that number on the scale, you say, I need to lose 50 pounds. You might only have to lose 15. You never know, right? To look, but getting that confidence back. I went on vacation again. I'm like, I had been sick I had COVID. I got really sick for 6 weeks or so, and I couldn't work out. I was under eating. Right now I still kind of feel a little flumpy. But I went to St. Thomas and I walked along the beach with my husband, and I felt more confident than I had in years. And that's a huge component. You want to get your body back, get your confidence back.
I love that. Yeah. And I have had to kind of walk away from the scale.
Yep.
Because I didn't see huge numbers change, but I noticed my clothes were fitting differently. And that's really more my barometer than anything. So I think that's a great point. And I'm really glad you brought that up about the scale. I have one question for you. What is one of your personal pillars of self-care? What's something that you try to do every day for yourself?
I have been thinking about this. So, and this might sound cliche with what we are talking about, but honestly, from where I've been in my life journey, me trying to stick to whole foods because I know it serves my body well and I feel good. That's my self-care. Okay. I don't have a million skincare things. I do like a good bath 2 to 3 times a week. Maybe that's my own time, but I really feel that eating the whole foods is really my self-care. I don't know. Sorry.
That's perfect.
That's all I've got for you.
No, that's perfect.
And moving my body, but that's 2.
Yeah. Hey, listen, it doesn't have to be sexy.
Right.
It can be practical too, right?
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, Kristin, how can people find you?
Okay. I am on Instagram at Kristin, Kristin, Jackson _2021. I am also on Facebook at Kristin Marie Jackson. So just follow me on my stories. Go ahead and follow me. I like to give a lot of insight on, day in the life of how to live this, positive energy, all of those good things in there as well.
Perfect. Kristin, thank you so much. I'll put that in the show notes, and I appreciate you being here today.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Don't think, just do.
Follow Asking for a Friend on social media outlets and provide a review and share this show wherever you get your podcasts. Reviews and sharing help us grow.